peace, Hotep, Aquaba, and everything else that, you know, we say to each other. Today is April 1st, 2014, Canaanland Moors online class, courtesy of Canaanland Moors. Today's class is when in doubt, the light will go out. When in doubt, the light will go out. We have to keep in mind, as usual, always, that Noble Ali told the Moors, study, study, study. Right? It was something that he made sure he told the Moors to study. And through studying, you'll be able to know for yourself what being a Moor is. So you have no doubt. Right? Because doubt with regard to the Moorish movement, Moorish information, doubt is directly the cause of a lot of, when people say, make the statement like, well, I don't know I'm Moor because Moors get arrested, right? People misunderstand that as, you know, we're doing something wrong. Moors aren't doing anything wrong. Stand up for your birthright and knowing instead of having doubt is something to be proud of. Knowing and not having doubt is something to proclaim and declare. Because for so long, our people in the world, for so long in our people in the world, right, have had a history, right? We've had a land, we've had government, we've had customs that compromise, that represent nations and kingdoms and empires. So it's nothing new for us to be involved with this. But in North America, there's an issue with our people accepting the fact that they are the true heirs to the vast estate of the Americas. So when in doubt, the lights will go out. So the objective is to not be in doubt, right? We have to really keep in mind. Peace, more. Give me 1 sec. We have to keep in mind, right, that this is not about pushing cards or papers or trying to swindle your way out of something, right? If you say you're a Moorish American, a Mexamite, whatever you call yourself, once you're not calling yourself Negro, Black, Colored, or Ethiopian or African, right? Once you're not calling yourself that, you better know what you're talking about. You better not be guessing. Because guessing is doubt. And when you have doubt, these people are going to take your head. Right? 1 sec. Hold on, man. My bad, man.
What?
My bad. Right? So we have on the phone right now, right? One of the Moors from out here, and you know, when I made up the name for the class, this is who I had in mind when I made up the name for today's class. Because, you know, we've had Islam, we've had lectures, you know, we do the Skype lectures and things like that. And in the past, maybe 2 or 3 Skype lectures, every lecture mentioned Tallahassee, right? And it's somebody who's not around. So just want the more to speak, just speak on, you know, of course, introduce yourself to the family and speak on not having doubt. And if you do have doubt, why the lights would go out. There's a lot more.
Islam to all these like Moors out there in their homeland. All I can say is that it's great feeling to be home and to find my way back home. Growing up, I heard them saying, I'm lost. I was once lost, but now I'm found. But they didn't find anything because when I realized they were talking about religion, they didn't really find themselves when they say know thyself. When you really know thyself, then you know who you really are, and what you are, and who you are. And this doubt that they put into our minds with these teachings that they give us these false doctrines of who we are, black, Negroes, colored, Ethiopians, Africans, Indians, and all the other stuff we call ourselves today. Is to put doubt in our mind, to confuse us from who we really are. And that confusion can cause fear, anxiety, all kinds of different emotions. So you don't find your way back to your true state of mind, who we really are, and what we really are, attached to this land. Autogenous, original, not aboriginal, but original. And when you have that, then you do grow up. And when you have confidence, when you're studying, even if you don't read or write or anything like that, and you can get somebody to read or write for you, and go along with it, while they're reading, and read along with them to see what words mean, look up words in dictionaries, and if you don't know, ask. You know that old saying, ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. We're asking all the wrong questions. We're seeking all the wrong answers. And we're looking at the wrong people for the answers. But it's our own people, like some great people out here, like Thomas Drake Bay, Ranshi Kujo, Bay. You know, there's so many brothers out here that I can mention, you know, Aline Bay, there's so many, Nature, Bay, there's so many brothers out here that I can mention to help us find our way back home. But the thing is, we're looking at the wrong people, and we got the wrong teachings because we start believing what we were taught when they told us who we are.
There's a lot more. Quick question, or quick suggestion about something. Also, could you talk about your background as far as, you know, certain cards you used to have, and you know where you're from, so people understand the scope of why you say you're more and not indigenous, you're aboriginal.
Aboriginal, yeah.
Right.
Okay. I was born in Halifax, Nova Scotia, in North America, what they call Canada. And we know Canada's a corporation. Anybody that wants to find out, look up the white pages or call the post office and ask them if Canada's a corporation or the U.S. of America. They'll be happy to oblige you and tell you. But yes, so anyway, we've been here for thousands of years, but they try to confuse us that we were stolen from Africa, South Asia. And we fed into that. But you know, being Asiatics, we're designed with something special. There's something in some of us, or most of us, or all of us, if we listen to the higher self, we know there's something treat us like educated pets, to work for their corporations and their system, and for their agenda, not for our own. We're so busy trying to be accepted. So, when I was growing up, they seen something in me, I believe, once I started figuring this all out and getting right knowledge of who we really are and who I am. They'll try to dumb us down, especially if they see somebody with some extraness in them, that they think for themselves. And then when you go get in school and you come out of grade school and you get into high school, first thing they do to the teenagers is to try to put the ones that they have a little wildness in them in a class called special ed. Even in grade school, kindergarten, they try to slow me down and make my parents believe I couldn't read or write and I had dyslexia and all these different things, Started putting conflicts on me where I didn't even want to even stand up in class and read to nobody because it was an embarrassing feeling. That's just the psychology that they put on us from the very beginning. That we're not good enough, and then we try so hard to be accepted. We do anything to please what we think are these new gods. Psychology is amazing.
Oh, okay, let me ask you this question because something just came to my mind. When you say the psychology, right? So people know that it's real. What type of psychology they try to put on you? What type of situations were you in as far as school and the stuff with the questions and all that?
Oh yeah, they try to dumb you down. They'll try to put you. How do you fail grade 1? And then put you in a corner with a dunce cap on. I was born in the 60s, and back then the schools could give you a strap or play these games with these dunce caps and try to make you look like a fool and stuff to make you think you're a fool and all these different things, and to make you have low self-esteem. So, when you do become of age and really in your full strength mentally and physically, the psychology is not to use it, and when it comes to the religion, the psychology is all plagiarized too. When they start telling you about, your history, but showing their faces. So you start looking at these pictures in your house, start seeing these Jesuses and stuff on the wall that looks like what you think are white people, but, it's Moorish knowledge. You realize once you start studying law and different things and seeing things for yourself, you know who the free white person really is. And the only way to do that is go to the 4th edition Black Law Dictionary and look up what a free white person is. And this psychology is great. All you gotta do is watch TV shows, movies. They tell us about ourselves all the time, but if we don't know who we are, we don't even know they're talking about us. And everything that they do, they can't do anything without using our energy and who we are. They want to be us, and they are being us. They're calling themselves white, and we're calling ourselves black. Black and white's not a complexion, it's a status. Common sense, if anybody can read, is what gets me really upset about people that can read. They really don't read. They're only reading the recipe, like they're making a cake for Betty Crocker of the box. Making jello or something, and don't even know jello is made from pork hoofs, pig's hoofs, But the thing is, there's so much amazing things going on, so to put you into doubt and the psychology that put on us, when we hear things about ourselves, they got us so intelligent that we can read and write now, and they give us, positions and jobs and try to make us, we're trying to please them. We're looking for acceptance from somebody that's not giving you no acceptance. Because they know if they do, you're going to reclaim back your vast estate that belongs to you. And when you study more science, it teaches you what a state is. And we're attached to this land. We're bound to this land. And when I say this land, I'm talking about North America, Central America, South America, America, the adjoining islands, even including Mexico, the Americas. You know, not the Caribbeans or the West Indians or the East Indies and all this stuff. These are the Americas. And when you get into Moorish knowledge, I'm not going to be get into a big thing. I'm trying to keep this simple. But the thing is, we got to start waking up and start teaching ourselves. Because when they're teaching us, we get into a psychic battle, and we get confused because, you know, growing up from child is just like being a trained pet. They're teaching us so well, we start to believe what they're teaching us and what they're telling us, without even double checking it. You know, when somebody does a test and homework and they say, can you check your classmates' papers to see that they got it correct or not? We're not even checking to see if it's correct or not. We're just taking it for what it is. And we are richer and wealthier than we can imagine, but we're running around here trying to network and still trying to get this stuff that they call money, these energy notes. But like Thomas Tariq was saying, they're only debt notes. When you look it up, you'll figure it out. It's only debt notes paying off debts. Unless you get to a certain position where you're getting residual, and it's still an illusion because if things get shut down, you can't even get residual. It's not tangible. So, you know, we're out here trying to do all these different things to try to get, you know, some wealth when we are the wealthiest. What we should be doing is reclaiming back our birthrights that connect us to this land. And the land is where the wealth comes from. Because the land holds the minerals and the gold and the silver and the water and the lumber, timber, and everything else that they're using. And it's yours, and it's yours. Your resources they're using. As long as you're in a good status and a good state of mind and playing this camp, we all get along like Rodney King and everything like that. And being colorblind, look up the word colorblind to see what it means. And because you think you're colored, but let me tell you about color. If anybody can read or write, look up the word color. And somebody that can't read or write, you're somebody that helps you look it up, like I did. Color means anything stained, varnished, or dyed, and nobody is stained, varnished, or dyed. Look up what the word black means and find out if you're really black. Nobody can be the color. Look up what verbs and nouns are. I'm just so happy I found my way home because I've been teaching myself for a long time. Even when I didn't find this Moorish knowledge, I had a cousin that went to school and very well educated. When I didn't know something, I asked him, what does that word mean? Okay, put it into that proper wording so people know that I'm intelligent, which I already knew I was intelligent, even though there's no big eyes or little U's over here. But the thing is, they were trying to make me think that I was not intelligent. There's different words for not being intelligent, but I'm not going to use them. But at the same time, when I found my way home, I started studying. This is what I've been feeling all my life, and I knew I found my way home. Like Pleasant Bay, when I found King Carson, he said, welcome home. And I was trying to find Thomas Tariq. Because what he was saying was vibrating something in my soul. I'm not going to say spirit because I looked up the word spirit. All spirit means is breath and air. So that took away the spookiness. You know, when you're growing up, spirits in the house. It's like 666, the devil's in the house. So when you look up the word, when you look up the numerology of 666, it's the carbon force that's in the universe and that's in us. There's no devils. There's a higher self and a lower self. We got to get out of this state of mind that we're in and doubting everything and put ourselves into the marvelous light. Because when in doubt, the lights will go out. When in confidence, the lights will stay on. And we got to get in the light to keep these lights on so we can go over here and see what we're doing. And to reclaim it, we got to stick together and help each other like we're supposed to. This is not about hating anybody. And when we get into more science, you'll know there's nothing to hate but ourselves because nobody's really doing it to us. We're doing it to ourselves. I'm not saying there's no psychology out here, invisible stuff that you can't see sometimes, and there's some stuff that's removed from your face. But since you don't want to control your vast estate, somebody else will. And don't put policy keepers, what you call policemen up there. The word police comes from policy. And to protect these corporations is play this game that you think is a country. It's really a corporation. And the thing is,
There's a lot more. I don't want to cut you. Just we're gonna do a round 2 because you have some stuff that I know you have to get off your chest.
okay,
But,
you know, like a surprise call.
yeah.
You know, and I know we did the famous when in doubt, the lights will go out. And when in confidence, the lights will stay on. I just like to say this: when you study, it builds your confidence because then you're in the knowing, not assuming, not hearsay evidence. And in law, hearsay does not stand. He say, she say stuff does not stand. You must know for yourself. You know, come to the Moorish temple, find out, or start your own study classes. You don't even have to be in the temple. Just start studying, and once you start studying, you'll find your way home. So Islam,
Oh yeah, put your name on the record, Mark.
North Tallahassee all day. And you act more like more. Come to a big line, all the way from Ruth to Moabites. That they call Mary today. I am my mother's son.
Peace and love.
I love the family on a global level. That's why I'm speaking this out right now.
Islam.
Islam.
I'll leave you later, boy.
Okay.
All right.
We have to learn to love and stuff instead of hate. And we're hating ourselves and blaming it on somebody else. And we're acting like fools. Because today is April Fool's Day, April the 1st, and today was for the blacks. You've been fooled. And if you think you're black, April Fool's is about you. It's not about a spider on your shoulder. It's about you're a fool. They're telling you to your face you're fooled. Everything's been plagiarized and you don't want to check it out. Even if you can read the right, they know you're not going to read it. And they know you're not going to write it. I love you. And I'm not trying to be hard on anybody, but it is what it is. Islam, boy.
Islam, boy.
Okay. Peace out. I'll catch the program. I'll put this thing when I get a chance.
All right, God.
Okay, Islam.
Islam. Lord Tallahassee obey. So when in doubt, the lights will go out. So figure, if we're going to be removing doubt, right, we should at least go to some of the people who brought the light. Right? That everybody says, oh, they don't want nothing to do with it because that's not their brother or that's not their family. Right? So the first enlightened being, ancestor, whatever, you know, we're gonna check some information from is Buddha.
Okay.
Well, you know, as we were taught, we honor all divine prophets. Right? So we're just gonna read some stuff of the Buddha, and then we're gonna see some pictures, how they represent it,
Okay.
so we could know
Yeah.
who we're dealing with, right? So wisdom of the Buddha. A jug fills drop by drop. Like some of these are. All that we are is the result of what we have thought. The mind is everything. What we think, we become. Be a lamp unto yourself. Work out your liberation with diligence. Be vigilant. Guard your mind against negative thoughts. Beings are owners of their action and heirs of their action. Believe nothing, no matter where you read it or who said it, no matter if I have said it, unless it agrees with your own reason and your own common sense. Alright? Just read that one again. Believe nothing. Which goes back to Noble Drew Ali, talking about belief is the lowest level, right? So we don't even need to deal with belief, right? Same thing Buddha saying, belief is nothing, all right? No matter where you read it or who said it. right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it again. Well, man knows not by being told.
Yeah.
It's the same stuff, same lesson,
Yeah.
right? No matter if I have said it, unless it agrees with your own reason and your own common sense.
That's the addition, I guess.
Once again, do not believe in anything simply because you have heard it. Do not believe in anything simply because it is spoken or rumored by many. Do not believe in anything simply because it is found written in your religious books. Do not believe in anything merely on the authority of your teachers and elders. Do not believe in traditions because they have been handed down for many generations. But after observation and analysis, when you find that anything agrees with reason and is conducive to the good and benefit of one and all, then accept it and live up to it. Fashion your life as a garland of beautiful deeds. Hatred does not cease through hatred at any time. Hatred ceases through love. This is an unalterable law. First principle, love and enforcing that. You know, and everybody's gonna look at Buddha and say, yeah, we recognize him, I'll buy his book and whatever, but you're not gonna recognize the prophet who's saying the exact same thing what Buddha said? Alright. The lights will go out, but it's only those people's lights that's going out. You know. Have compassion for all beings, rich and poor alike. Each has their suffering. Some suffer too much, others too little.
Well, it's interesting because that follows by, I think, the chapter in the Quran about rich and poor, right?
Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. If we could see the miracle of a single flower clearly, our whole life would change. Just as the great oceans have but one taste, the taste of salt, so too there is but one taste fundamental to all true teachings of the way, and this is the taste of freedom. Let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. And if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. Let's rise up and be thankful. For if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. If we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. And if we got sick, at least we didn't die. So let us all be thankful. Buddha got jokes. Buddha got jokes.
So what was the back? You were back on the one with the rich and the...
Have compassion for all beings, rich and poor alike. Each has their suffering. Some suffer too much, others too little.
I mean, I don't know for one.
Well, we could even talk about the fact that there's a chapter in there, right?
So read that part again with the rich and poor.
Dealing with the rich and the poor.
The one that it says there. What does he say?
Have compassion for all beings, rich and poor alike. Each has their suffering. Some suffer too much, others too little.
One suffers too much. Some suffer too much.
Some suffer too much. Others too little.
Because it's interesting that he says it because.
What I think was triggered in your mind was the title of the chapter you're looking at.
No, because
there was more.
Yeah, because it says let, as an example, this is verse 15 of the whole union of the rich and the poor. Let the poor man comfort himself, yes, rejoice, for he hath many reasons. He sitteth down to his morsels in peace. His table is not crowded with flatterers and devourers, He's not embarrassed with the train of dependence, nor teased with the clamors of solicitations. Debarred from the dainties of the rich, he escapeth also their diseases. The bread that he eateth is not so sweet to his taste, the water he drinketh is not so pleasant to his thirst, ye far more delicious water than the richest draughts of the luxurious. So then, and the last part is, let not the rich therefore presume on his riches, nor the poor in his poverty yield to the despondence, for the providence of Allah dispenseth this happiness to both.
Right.
So to me, I was getting from that basically the rich you see as having money, yet they have all these issues.
Right.
The poor you see having nothing, yet they have freedom. Yet they have freedom from all of
What everybody wants.
That's right.
No tax.
Yeah, exactly.
Let yourself be open, and life will be easier. A spoon of salt in a glass of water makes the water undrinkable. A spoon of salt in a lake is almost unnoticed. Let yourself be open, and life will be easier. A spoon of salt in a glass of water makes the water undrinkable. A spoon of salt in a lake is almost unnoticed. No one saves us but ourselves. So no one can and no one may.
See.
So yeah. Right? No one can and no one may.
So it's sort of like a to me, like a double meaning of the same thing, right?
Only you.
Yeah.
We ourselves must walk the path. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. Teach this triple truth to all. A generous heart, kind speech, and a life of service and compassion are the things which renew humanity. Everything is based on principles. No God said this or whatever said that. Reasoning and common sense.
Well, I sense though that God, we are part of God, and through that collectiveness we have set about a way to do things.
Right.
A way that will, it's like having a roadmap. If you follow it, you'll get to the destination.
Right.
Right? And the prophets are those people who have come from the masses.
Who have the maps.
Yeah, who have the maps for the ones who have not followed the map.
Right.
Right?
Or they have the, medicine for the ones that are sick.
That's right.
Or they have the whatever for whoever
The water
needs
with-
it for whatever they're seeking.
Yeah.
Right? The mind is everything. What you think you become. The secret of health for both mind and body is not to mourn for the past, worry about the future, or anticipate troubles, but to live in the present moment wisely and earnestly. The way is not in the sky, the way is in the heart. Wrong again, right? And mentioning him not because of worship, because I know people are, jumpy right now. Mention Gurdjieff and it's like, oh my gosh, you're worshiping a man.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Yeah.
I know. We're not worshiping him. We're studying what he said. Studying what he brought. Thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared. Whatever words we utter should be chosen with care, for people will hear them and be influenced by them for good or ill. We are shaped by our thoughts. We become what we think. When the mind is pure, joy follows like a shadow that never leaves. When you realize how perfect everything is, you will tilt your head back and laugh at the sky. You yourself, and that sounds like something like in the oral statements.
What's
You know those statements like, there's statements that Noble Drew Ali made that were like, kind of,
What do you say there? What was it?
when you realize how perfect everything is, you will tilt your head back and laugh at the sky. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Your work is to discover your work, and then with all your heart to give yourself to it. So there's an influence with regard to the Moors. Now what I did, I didn't go and look for Buddha stuff.
You did or you didn't?
I didn't go look for Buddha statues or whatever like that, right? I went to check Buddha movies.
Okay.
So there's apparently like in the East, there's a industry where they just make Buddha movies.
Okay.
Right? There's all different companies, just like how they have the African movies right now, just like that.
Okay.
But it's Buddha movies, right?
Okay.
So there was two that stood out, right? A man named Gagan Malik playing the Buddha in this movie, right? So this is how they have him set. With a turban, like when you check, you never see Buddha wearing a turban. When you check the statues and stuff like that, right? You have to remember that this is the East.
Right.
So just like we have oral history over here, they have oral history over there.
Yeah.
That's not in statues and in certain things, right? And then there's Prem Sanyas in a 1925 movie about Buddha. And that is no different than, with the sisters, they have their turban, right? And then they have the button. Right? They have the button, but instead of the button, they have the big sunlight disc or whatever. Right? Same culture, all over, as usual. Right? Confucius. So we'll just go to check another one, just to see, like, is it really? Because Drew Ali said we honor all divine prophets. Put it on nationality card and all that. So, all right. So Confucius. Be not ashamed of mistakes, and thus make them crimes. Before you embark on a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves. Everything has its beauty, but not everyone sees it. Forget injuries, never forget kindness. He who will not economize will have to agonize. I hear, I forget. I see, I remember. I do, and I understand. Ignorance is the night of the mind. But a night without moon and star.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Ignorance is the night of the mind.
Yeah.
But a night without moon and star. It does not matter how slowly you go, so long as you do not stop. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in getting up every time we do. Study the past if you would define the future. To be able under all circumstances to practice 5 things constitutes perfect virtue. These 5 things are gravity, generosity of the soul, sincerity, earnestness, and kindness. To see what is right and not to do it is want of courage. What the superior man seeks in himself, what the small man seeks is in others. When anger rises, think of the consequences. When we see men of a contrary character, we should turn inwards and examine ourselves. He who exercises government by means of his virtue may be compared to the North Pole star, which keeps its place and all the stars turn towards it.
The last one.
He who exercises government by means of his virtue may be compared to the North Pole star, which keeps its place and all the stars turn towards it. Hold faithfulness and sincerity as first principles. I was not one who was born in the possession of knowledge. I am one who is fond of antiquity and earnest in seeking it there. If a man takes no thought about what is distant, he will find sorrow near at hand. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous.
Last one.
Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. It's hard. Hard. George Ivanovich Gurdjieff, Gurdjieff, also commonly referred to as G.I. Gurdjieff, was an influential spiritual leader of the early to mid 20th century who taught that most humans live their lives in a state of hypnotic waking sleep, but that it is possible to transcend to a higher state of consciousness and achieve full human potential. Gurdjieff developed a method for doing so called his discipline the work. Meetings with Remarkable Men is a second volume of the All and Everything trilogy written by the Greek-Armenian mystic G.I. Gurdjieff. The Turks and Persians called Georgia Gurjistan, which may account for the root of the name Gurdjieff. So here's Gurdjieff's pops right here. Right? So Gurdjieff's pops. When you look up George Gurdjieff, Gurdjieff, his pops will come up. And then here's G.I. Right? Mystic. Right? Gurdjieff claims to have first heard the Epic of Gilgamesh as an oral epic sung from memory by his father, to have made contact with various ancient brotherhoods, including the Saramong Brotherhood, Sarmoung, to have copied a map of pre-sand Egypt, and to have witnessed a number of miracles and esoteric phenomena. In 1888, the 16-year-old Gurdjieff witnessed a strange incident. He saw a little boy weeping and making strange movements, struggling with all his might to break out of a circle drawn around him by other boys. Gurdjieff released the boy by erasing part of the circle and the child ran from his tormentors. The boy Gurdjieff learned was a Yazidi. He had heard only that Yazidis were a sect living in Transcaucasia, mainly in the regions near Mount Ararat. They are sometimes called devil worshippers. Astonished by the incident, Gurdjieff made a point of telling us that he felt compelled to think seriously about the Yazidis. So here's some Yazidis right here. And as you can see, robes and head wraps. It is Moorish. Right? And remember, this is Transcaucasia. Right? There's some more of them. Yazidis. When in doubt, the lights will go out. There is nothing at all for us to doubt about our birthright. That all over this place is the history of us being displayed by other people. Their own culture in stone or whatever, their own culture being passed down is Moorish culture. Right? Some more of them. Yazidis. Check them out. Shock yourself. Right? We're the only ones that's playing around. Our people. Our people are the only ones playing around. How come it's only our people that play around? How come only our people not getting this? This is like people who are like Armenian, Syrian, all these people dressing up like Moors with fezzes on and all that.
Trying to claim stuff that's not theirs, though. Or it is theirs, right?
Their descendants.
Part of it is theirs.
So they have
They're a part
just
of it.
just like
They're a part of it.
just like Chinese go into Africa, they go dig gold and go take it back to China. Because China is Africa is Asia. And then they'll come over here because this is Africa and this is Asia. Because they have a claim.
So they have a partial claim to
It's
it.
partial claim, but that they're claiming impartiality and ruling the world with Moors birthright that they don't want. They have a sliver of Moorish knowledge and they're ruling the world with it. And then there's everybody else, right, that's in the world. And they might not be colonizers and going around the world pillaging the world or whatever, but this is how they dress. This is how they dress. So they had to learn this from somewhere, whether they adopted it, whether somebody sat them down and taught it to them, whether they were hiding in the bushes and watching these people pass by every day and they just said, oh, we'll just follow them. But this isn't their stuff. Inherently, they adopted this. Man even has the scimitar, everything. So this means that it's acknowledged by people. Like what is it? Well, when are you gonna recognize the Moors? What do you mean recognize? What are you talking about recognize? When they have people dressing up like this in other places in the world? What's to recognize? Kurdistan. Stone in Kurdistan. Where the hell that is? Stone stuff in Kurdistan with feathers on it. Cone hats. Like kufis, whatever. All our culture. Right? Really? We have no reason to have doubt about our birthright. No reason whatsoever. If we say we're not Negro, black, colored, or whatever, you better be claiming that you're more. We claiming nothing else. Because if you're not Negro, black, colored, like these stones right here are, then you're more. Because you can't make any other claim. Not only those ones, right? The real one now, so you can really see that they know what's up. In Kurdistan. This is blatantly, this is a brother with a fez on. Anytime you could see somebody's nose holes, you know that's a brother. Right? We already talked about fez on stone, but we talked about Americas and whatever. No, Kurdistan. And then when you look in the back, you see that everything's looking like Kemet back there. What's Kemet doing in Kurdistan? And same thing, just like in Kemet, knock the heads off. That's why the head's down there on the ground, because they knocked the head off of that thing back there. Right? So all those had heads on them. Right? All those had heads on them. And then there's, you know, one head right here, and then there's a couple more heads. Right? But notice that the heads are propped up, so they found these and put them like this. Whoever went to this site or whatever, right? You can see the little rubble around it. That the little heads falling off, no statues like that. Right?
What year?
Prop those. So you gotta check. I didn't even go that far. I didn't go that far. Just punch that in. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. Just punch that in, and then you'll see all this stuff. Play it around. Right? Okay, just to show more. Beer heads. Look at the lips right there. That's some European Kurdistan now. Right? And this one over here. And then keep in mind, when you're watching this one, right? When you see this, you see the background, right? And this one, you see the mound in the back. There's a mound doing in Kurdistan. Speaking of the mound, I was looking at these. How many that circle set up right there? I was looking at these aerial photographs of pyramids around the world. Right? Aerial photographs of all these pyramids all around the world. And then if somebody else recognizes too, whatever, but that's the aerial picture of the pyramids. Because when you put the cross in and you pull the cross up, it's a pyramid. When you pull the point of the cross in the middle, up or out, if you go like this. So Noble Ali connected us back to Kemet. For all people who want to say, oh, they're Noble Ali and Moors, they don't have nothing to do with, Kemet because Kemet means black and stuff like that. No, it's right here on the cover of the book. That it's Kemet. Right? That one just hit me when I was. Right? The Mandeans of Iraq and Iran. Mandeans. Iraq and Iran. So everybody knows what's up, even those guys. They might pretend like they know. So all you people out there who you know these guys have convenience stores and stuff like that. They're supposed to be accepting their nationality card with no tax and all that, because they know what's up. All of the Arabs and all the stuff, they have convenience stores and all that, have shops. Everybody knows what's up. But if they can get us to be in doubt about the Moors, then they can claim it. Which is how they win every single time. Every single time. Every single time. They're not changing up nothing. Let's just get them claim anything but more. I don't care what you claim. Just claim anything but more and we'll give you 80 million, no problem. And then they're going to be up there. You got the 80 million. Then they're going to be up there talking shit about the guy who gave him the 80 million. And the guy who gave him the 80 million is letting them. Why? Because talking crap. You have no talk. You're just flapping your gums. You're just flapping. Oh yeah, and for all those dirty Moors wanting to say, oh yeah, I saw Kudro drink in our class. It's a malt, okay? Because these guys. But you never know. You never know with these guys. Right? So everybody wants you to not be Moors. Once you have doubt, then they're claiming. And that's what they've been doing. It's nothing new to the game. Once we don't claim, they're
once
claiming.
we separate ourselves from that, they take the abandonment position, right?
Right. You want to say something?
No, I was just thinking about it, just how, wondering how we wake these people up.
One of our friends from earlier. Be a lamp unto yourself. And
So I think that
the jug fills drop by drop.
Well, that
So
I think
we just do what we do.
But the light part, I think that most of us are separated from the fact that we think we have any ability to enlighten ourselves. Not us.
Yeah, but the people.
I think the people in general, you talk to them about religion, they turn off. You tell them that the religion is within them, they get spooked.
Yeah.
Right? They don't, so you can't really, in my mind, a lot of the times you can't win until that person, like you say, gets on that knowledge from some point that connects to him.
They've been told. You know, it's like Brother Todd Lassie was saying. They're not listening to the messages.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The messages are clear. No, there's no need for the message not to be clear. You know, super clear.
Yeah.
But another head again, right? But this one's Honduras. So Dr. Sebi knows what's up. Don't get it twisted. All that herbal and, you know, going back to nature and whatever, that's Aboriginal indigenous culture. More. That's Aboriginal indigenous culture. It's not, you know, holistic, right? Or naturopathy or whatever what they want to call it. All these stuff that they made up. Again, to take us away for us to have doubt.
Well, what I realize is that if everything comes from the one source, and we happen to be that source, then everything we're seeing and doing is a part of us. But if we've allowed someone else to put their covering on it, then we disconnect. And that's what they've been able to do. Like you say, the natural path is really our stuff.
Right.
They've named it there, they put it into their jurisdiction.
Right.
So when you want to learn, you're going to come and learn your stuff from our people. Right? Which I think then takes away all of the therapeutic energy
of it, right?
Of it.
Because it's not really from you now. Right. There's some more Honduras ones. Right? You know, Kufi, Tarbush, whatever you want to call it, it's Moorish. It's our culture. And there's no reason for people not to accept this unless they have some serious brainwash, mind control, or whatever going on. And if the brainwash is that serious, that somebody's gonna see this and they're like, hold on a second, there's a stone head in Honduras with a kufi on it. I'm gonna go do some research about my culture because, you know, this stone head looks like Uncle Jeff. He has the Uncle Jeff nose.
But the issue is, you go and stop 9 out of 10 people on the street, they wouldn't know what a fez is. They wouldn't know what a kufi is, right?
But then when we see the Kyrgyzstan family photo, right? They got a little youth man in there with a turban or fez on. So it's really us killing it. It's really us that's killing it. Oh yeah, and just to put it out there, the recording is not working, so this is gonna have to go up from the camera, right? So bear with me if I switch to up there, because this is only broadcasting right now. So you already know. No, because we record. So this is not recorded.
Oh,
it's only broadcasting.
Okay.
Right. So I'm like.
But before it used to record?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's been doing some stuff lately.
In the last
since the fire alarm. Since the fire alarm, YouTube's been going crazy. Can't record, stuff shutting off and all that. You know, if you notice, you know, a few of the classes have gone up in 2 parts because during the middle of the thing, sometimes it cuts off. And
this is a brand new computer.
Yeah, it's not the computer though. It's not the computer. Just like it's not the service on your phone where the call dropped. Turbans, right? Again. Turbans in stone. What else is that going to be on there? if it's not a turban.
But I think, the other thing that came to me now, I realized that I've been hearing the word culture a lot.
Yeah.
Thinking about how cult comes from culture, but how they made you think that cult was bad.
Yep.
And really cult is the root word of culture, which is the root word of who we are, of what we represent. But ultimately, I start to realize this with a lot of the media and the stuff and these movies that they've got us watching. I realize when you go and turn on any one of these movies and you're watching it, it's a form of a spell that they're sort of throwing out there. Now, when they present some information out there that isn't correct or is misleading, and you continue to watch it, in my mind, I start to realize that that's a form of acquiescence, which I think is what has been keeping us. Because I thought about this. Remember, back in the day, we used to just have radio, right? Once television started to hit our house, television and all of this stuff and all the stuff in the way that
process
and the way that it sort of affects your connection with the brain, I started to think about how that has been one of their major control tools in a real way,
since
because
the inception.
Since the inception of it, right? We needed to get into the house. How are we going to do that without you recognizing it?
That I'm in there.
Right. Now, we did that, first of all, because back in the day, you realize this too. It was just the shows that they were showing you. But then commercials came in. I don't know if you've heard about all that stuff, where they used to have certain channels that never had commercials. Now every channel has commercials. But what I've realized is that why this is all dead to us is, first of all, they ain't teaching you in school. And secondly, any other form of sort of, I'm going to sit down and turn this on or just relax. None of that are we being connected to. Right? We're getting a completely misguided interpretation of culture. Right? It's a corporate culture. And it's all about selling
stuff.
So that's why when I see all of this stuff, I say, wow, this is all over the world. But unless you spend some time going into this, into a certain...
Into the matrix.
Well, into
the double matrix.
Into the double matrix, right? You're not going to turn on any channel, on any TV.
And see that.
You're going to see that in any comprehensive way.
On the Ustream. But even that's corrupted because they got commercials on Ustream.
Well, this is what I'm saying, right? But I think, you know what, and let's take this, and I'm putting this out there, that the prophet said we're going to go back to horse and buggy. Right? So that will be the time when we connect back with our ancestors.
Have no choice then. Islam to brother Gums Bay for bringing out the Godfather 2 with the fez in the back. So I just want to put that out there, just how we're talking about, everybody knows. And we all seen Godfather, and everybody missed the guy walk by in the fez.
Was it
until you got knowledge yourself. Some bar or something. Until we got knowledge yourself. Like, how much time have you seen some of these movies?
No, but you see what I realized though, you see, I think I told you this before too, that in all of this sorcery, right? I think I explained this to you before. When I'm making up a spell, right? I need to put 2 parts witch's foot, 2 part frog's legs, whatever, right? They have to have the man walking by in the fez. Because the Italians,
ritual.
No, but the Italians got their stuff from us.
From them,
So they would have to pay homage to that to have it then be real. Because if you didn't place that in there, then you'd be basing it on a lie. Right? So, and all of this stuff, and I ask everyone, implore everyone to, that's what I start to do. Started to see us in everything. Right? Like, I think one of these guys that we talked to or listened to saying that stop being biased about who's giving the message. Right? Stop disconnecting from the message because you're hearing it from this guy's team. Right? And that's what I'm saying, right? This movie here, that's why I was asking, where did it come?
But
your subconscious probably picked up on.
Oh yeah, picked it up for sure.
Right?
For sure.
You just never connected to it.
Right.
So
This one was pretty good. You have the stone again with the rope around the head, right? Or the cloth, or whatever, right? Headband style. And there they have it in the stone.
yeah.
And everybody knows that this is a blackamoor head. Everybody knows this is the Moorish nobility on the crest of European family names. Right? Everybody knows that's what it is. That's what it's identified as. It's not the black lady with the thing on her head. It's not the Negro lady. Or it's not the, the African. It's the Moor. And then there she is in stone. Then to Honduras.
It's Honduras again?
Yeah. And then just so that that, oh yeah, you just found the picture or whatever, there's more with the stuff wrapped around the head, so it's not just one sister with the stuff wrapped. And remember, these are known as blackamoors. Not known as black people, not known as Africans, not known as colored people on the coin, whatever.
A mislabeling too, right? The blackamoor?
Well, so it's for sure. But it's qualified because the Moor is identified as being what it is.
The Moors identified themselves with that?
The word Moor is identifying it, him, her.
Him, her.
And then blacks describing it.
Right. Compound word.
Right.
Within us. Okay.
Like when people say, oh, we're not Moorish American because ish on Moor.
Right.
Makes it adjective.
Right.
Say, well, Chinese is adjective.
Right.
Now hear them complaining.
Right.
How come they're not complaining? Or is Moorish and it being connected to an adjective because ish is on there, is that part of the same propaganda?
Of course it is.
Because German's also an adjective. I don't hear them complaining. How come they're not complaining? Because they don't listen to what these Europeans say.
Of course.
Right? That are tainting history all around the world, including their own. Don't listen to them. They got their history. They know what it is. When in doubt, the lights will go out.
Well, and in
And
fact,
everybody in the world is not in doubt about who they are.
and in fact, what I think I've realized though, too, is that a lot of these people, like, realizing Japan's real name is Nippon,
Right.
right? But the Japanese have no problem, or the Nipponese have no problem coming over here and allowing themselves to be labeled that, because it doesn't make a bit of difference to them, right? Because they're still going to go and get what they need to get.
They need to get, and
Right.
then they know who they are.
Right, and then they're going to go back home and they're going to say they're Nippon, and they're going to laugh at the rest of the
And
people.
everybody else who's playing.
Right.
Right? Like we always bring up that example. The girl in high school, right? Like when we went to school, and from Sri Lanka, and she had 26 letters in her name. Everybody's sitting there really counting on the attendance, like, oh, 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, she has 26 letters in her last name.
Right.
Oh no, actually, it's 30. They cut it down because the 5 couldn't fit, or whatever. She's still who she is.
Yeah.
She still has to pack it out every morning.
Yeah.
She's not falling into what they say.
Yeah.
Because, no doubt. Once there's no doubt, the light's on.
Well,
And you can see what you're doing. You can see where you're going.
I was listening to some stuff earlier today. That has to do with the fact that she's got a nationality, she's got parentage, she's got a national descent name
Yep.
that brings her back, and she's got a culture behind that, right? We don't have that.
Right. But we have that, but we don't want it.
We have that, we don't want it, and
We don't want it.
that's what continues to have us lost. We're more willing to be labeled some corporate name than our own name,
Right.
which I think yet again breaks our energy too, right?
Yep.
Just walk around like zombies.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Well, yeah, also Sumerian and Congolese adjectives too. I already done complaining.
Right.
Right? And when they do say, well, you know, Moorish, you know, I'm more American. Well, then when you go over here, because they say that they honor Noble Ali and all that, right? They say they recognize him. And then when he says, what is his nationality, Moorish American?
These are the little ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
His nationality, Moorish American. What's your nationality, Moorish American? So, what's the problem? You think he didn't know what he was talking about? You know what I mean? Right? I'm pretty sure he knew what he was talking about when he said we're Moorish American. Because America is really Al Morocco, which is Morocco anyways. So if we say we're Moorish American, we're saying we're Moorish Moroccan. So, and Noble Ali told us we are Moorish American because we're descendants
Say hi to her and
of Moroccans born in America. So there's no changing up stuff, making up stuff, try to, you know what I mean, be involved in something that doesn't concern you. Noble Ali set up the jurisdiction for us, right? Noble Ali set up our jurisdiction, right? So we have something to claim. But people say that they honor the Prophet are going to say, oh, well, they can't be that because of Ish, when nobody else is complaining. Nobody else is even worried about what is being presented, expressed, declared, proclaimed. They're proclaiming it. Has nothing to do with this person's perception of them. They know themselves. And once we know ourselves, we have an obligation, right? As individuals who recognize the Prophet, right? The fact that we recognize that there is an individual by the name of Noble Ali, and we're gonna say, yeah, let's, you know, follow the instructions that he brought. Right? Once he's presented something,
good. All right.
Right?
Be in touch. See you there,
once he presented something,
brother.
Right? It's for us. Once he presented something, right? We should be completely for it. Research it, check it out. You know what I mean? But there's not anything that needs to be changed with regard to what is the nationality. Because regardless, we're Moroccan. Even if it's all good. Even if we say Moorish, it's pertaining to Moroccans. We say America, it's pertaining to Moroccans. So there's no dispute. But like we say, right? We're not going to go out there and call ourselves Jews, even though we know that we were those first people called that. It might be under a different name, but we were the first ones, not some Europeans. So we won't call ourselves Jews. But we might attach something to it. Black Jews. Right? But we're not going to claim that because somebody else got it. Just like somebody else got Moroccan right now. Well, nobody has Moorish American. That's specific to one people. Right? That's specific. And nobody else ever claimed that. Right? Don't forget our fam in Hindustan. Right? Don't forget Hannibal and the Alps and the elephants. Right? And then the elephant wearing the turban. The Moorish turban. The Moorish turban. Then remember the Mauryan dynasty. It's obvious. They even have elephant with a turban on. Just to show you what frequency the elephant's on.
What's this from though?
Ganesha. Hindu deity. But it's an elephant with a turban. And we beat them up all day with it, but you know, it's just so people could see.
I just had a thought there that I realized we have been so their attempts at destroying our connection to the culture has been such that, you know, aside from the prophet and our sort of so-called Europeanized manifestation of this, like I would love to be seeing some stuff from us. I mean, that is what I guess the Moorish Science Temple would be,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
It seems like every other culture is identifying with the source,
Right.
except for us.
Right. And it also verifies how far back it goes.
Yeah. And how extensive it is.
And how extensive, how broad
Yeah.
the perspective is.
Yeah.
That there's no reason to have doubt
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
There's too much information about Moorish history
Yeah.
everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, there's some type of connection to the Moors.
That's what I'm saying, because
Avatar of Vishnu, Lakshmi Narasimha, Lakshmi Narashimha, Lakshmi Narasimha, right? I mean, the hell. You know? Everybody knows what's up. That's why it was so easy for Noble Drew Ali to say, take your place amongst the affairs of men. Because as soon as you step out there, people are going to be dropping to their feet. That you're back. The mythology that they've been told as children with these, you know, mysterious figures coming out of the bushes or whatever, is the Moors coming back.
it's really been a mental thing. That's all it's been. That's all it has been. There's nothing physical about this, it's all mental.
Crazy mental. Crazy mental. Just how you say that, it was mental. Just to show, you know, everybody gave you a little piece, right? Leviathan, Aliman Isa, aka Malachi York. 666 is the number of the beast and all that stuff. The spell is not one that cannot be released or lifted. It is not a curse, but a hypnotic spell.
Sorry, go back again to the beginning.
The spell is not one that cannot be released or lifted. It is not a curse, but a hypnotic spell. Conclusively, the spell, is the reason why the populace of Nubians throughout the world have been unable to unite. This is also why Nubians in Africa have not been able to take any steps toward combating Leviathan, his agents, and his spells. We as a people should also stop calling ourselves everything. Right? We as a people should stop calling ourselves everything other than Islamic, Hebrews, or Muslims.
Realize the other spell is in the name.
right?
right? The other spell is in the name. It's in the identifying.
Exactly.
You don't identify yourself as to who you are, then you're something else.
And you're something else. That somebody else coined. Not even just something else.
Well, that's where
You're something else that somebody else.
No. Well,
coined.
you could be called, let's say Allah or whatever. I'm saying, but once you also go the next step and then take on their baggage,
Right.
right? To me, that's where I think the spell really gets locked in.
Right. You
Right.
see, and that's why we rotate around active Moors. Because they're not under the spell. They're not under the mental slavery. Right? Because you don't know what the hell I'm thinking, or maybe you do, and you're just not letting on.
Mm-hmm.
But where we're going after reading this was nomen substantivum. You brought up name. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because this was going to be the last half hour of class. Before I said, well, class is going to be through. After we go through the pictures, the last half hour of class is going to be nomen substantivum. Right? And
See, but this is where I realize it's all connected, right?
right?
We just have to understand that.
It's so amazing where we are right now. Where we are right now is
We're on the pinnacle.
We're on
the edge.
We're on the edge right now.
Yeah. And
Right.
all we have to do is take that step. They already know, right? They already know.
And realize that
Well, they already know.
there's no edge.
No. Yeah, that's right. That's the first thing. But they already know though it's over, right?
Yeah.
They're just sort of battening down the hatches.
Right, page 18. Right, because the reason why this came up is because we've been getting lots of Moors coming in and get stuck on the name part when it's time to do their proclamation or paperwork or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's some, maybe last 2 weeks about 10 questions from 10 different people about the name.
Mm-hmm.
How do I pick a Moorish name? How do I know that's, you know what I mean? So we figure we'll hit up nomen substantivum,
Mm-hmm.
right? Correcting your name, choosing your attribute, right? RV Bay, Taj Street Bay, Lord Natural Bay. So it's page 18. Correct and correction. The word correct is derived from the Old Moorish Latin word corrigere, from cor equal calm plus rigere, meaning to set right, to amend, to point out, to mark the errors or faults in, to rebuke, and to rectify an error, a fault or conduct, etc. Thus, a name correction and change on the part of the Moors in North America is the act of correcting a fault, an error, a misapplication, etc., with the intent of remedying an acknowledged wrong or impropriety, etc., dismissing the fictitious Negro, Black, and colored brands heads the list in these social and political affairs. In the cases of any and all natural peoples of Asiatic Moorish descent who have been branded and bonded by slaveholding European families occupying North America, abandonment of rights cannot be the charge without rebuttal. Abandonment of their own proper person attributes and names cannot justifiably be the charge, for they did not make such unnatural and dishonorable abandonment of their own free national names willingly and free from threat, duress, and coercion. The generations who descended from those held to forced servitude were mistaught, misused, and misguided by occupational European slavers, sociologists, educators, religionists, politicians, and other scholars and persons colorably claiming positions of sovereignty and thus a falsely perceived constitutional authority. Social and political considerations. Knowledge of what is really important in a name, socially and politically, has been denied to many subjugated natural people for an amount of time which is shameful to record in the human chronicles. However, there is a remedy for the natural people who have been held outside the constitutional fold of government and robbed of their birthrights and heritage. The first remedy is truth and knowledge. The first remedy is truth and knowledge. Their birthrights and free national attributes and names can be lawfully reclaimed outside of the colorable legal processes demanded by European demos. All is not lost. A return to self-knowledge can be manifested in this society. Nationality, name, and birthright reclamation is a lawful political, declaratory, civilization reality. One can always revert back to the honor of one's own mothers and fathers. Being oneself and bearing one free national name, one can never know of one's heritage if one does not know oneself. One can by common law declare and claim one's own proper person, and the birthright ennobles names, titles, and attributes of one's forefathers. These are the days of knowing. Choice and choosing. The crafty, servitude-oriented misconceptions and propagated miseducation about names, history, geography, legalities, etc. have caused millions of people to suffer a lack of knowledge about themselves and about their inalienable rights and birthrights. This subaltern state of mind reflects upon some of the people concerning these substantive nomen matters. Many who have contemplated correcting and changing their names in the past have been wrongfully intimidated. By way of such corrupt thinking, divine rights are often waived naively for lack of knowledge. Thus, changing and correcting their names as an issue of right was abandoned. However, one's choosing to correct and change one's name is a natural, inalienable right, and so the reader is reminded to be cognizant of the allodial nature in which this booklet is written and presented. Justice must be restored. Generations of natural people have been and are suffering from colonial initiated miseducation. Grooming by oppressive inquisition biases and color of government often causes displays of insecurities, trepidations, and fears when the subject matter of name correction is brought up. Many adults are convinced that the foreign US demo pseudo-government is omnipotent, unaware that only a republican form of government was established for the United States Republic. What chance at reasoning would their children have to recognize misrepresentations? The US demo pseudo-government persons, being the source of such misrepresentations, are de facto a fraud and unconstitutional. Other adults, being made conscious of their rights, have taken on the ambient qualities as would be displayed by young boys and girls, showing a lack of self-confidence and a voided sense of self-authority. This so-called anomaly makes for an interesting study of mental slavery and human oppression. European slaveholders occupying North America have come to view their demonic practices of artificial birthright theft and color of law activities as legitimate. Inflicting their family names upon the Aboriginal Moors has produced an arrogance and strawman foundation for birthright theft and state wardship. Out of ignorance, many subjugated victims of the mental stagnation and the name branding customs also think that such activities are lawful or constitutional. Due to slave-making mentation and psychic attacks, such Niceno-Constantinopolitan demonality has become socially assimilated and blindly accepted. Through imposed antisocial psychopathy, Many subjugated Moors, thinking their identity was Negro, became blind faith defenders of their own impignorate, debased, strawman, and non-de-guerre status. And this prima facie and colored status has for some become their accepted lot in life. Remedy. You know, we're going to give you that. You know, leave you hanging with the name. Remedy. Choosing and correcting one's name can be under such circumstances considered an arduous process, causing bane and great anxiety for doubters. You know, remember, once you have doubt, let it go out. So no doubting. Anxiety for doubters and the uninformed. However, and contrary to such subordinate and self-defeating thinking, changing or correcting one's name is neither arduous, baneful, nor a necessary source of anxiety. The solution to the nomen correction issue is knowledge and conscious action. Many people do not know their rights because they were never told nor taught the truth about their nationality, their birthrights, nor about their inalienable rights. Thusly, they did not know that one could by inalienable right and by common law correct and change their names. Nomen substantivum, correcting your name, choosing your attribute, invites etymology, considerations, and studies which would aid in developing a more correct and newfound respect for words, names, common law, and self-recognition. With basic etymological skills, one would also be able to better understand the proper person, name correction, reasoning, and process. And so, nomen substantivum is provided as an assistant to yourself and others who choose to exercise those birthrights which have long been neglected, stolen, or ignored. Choice is the act of choosing and is expressed as a preferential determination between things proposed relating to selection or election. Choosing is the power, the right, or the faculty determining an option, a point of rational discrimination and or of judgment with the unrestricted freedom to choose. Synonyms of choice are election, option, preference, selection, will, elect, best. So let's say we use will instead of choice or choosing, right? So to will in your own name, right, would mean that you are trying to manifest something. You're trying to bring something into existence.
No, I mean, it harkens back to the Buddha lessons, which is that basically everything is mind. You are what you think. What you think.
That's why it's all about knowing yourself.
It's also all about mind. Mind is everything.
Mind is everything. And when Moors, I was telling some Moors this today, information has to be given to the people, right? Information has to be given to the people. And people have taken the approach of not giving this to the people, right? One, because they're trying to sell it, or two, they think that they're not qualified to give it because they never went through some chamber or they never got some badge that says they're qualified. When once you know for a fact that you're not Negro, black, colored, you're qualified and you should be teaching. Should be. It should be something that you just do. Right? It doesn't have to be no scale like this. It doesn't have to be going all across the country doing lectures or whatever like that. But word has to get out to people.
Well, I sense that if you then change who you are by your thought and your will, and by your reclaiming of your nationality, you then become someone different. you become free.
Right.
And at that point, then any interaction you have with anyone else is going to be altered thereof. Any conversation you have, any experience that you have with anyone else is going to be altered due to your altering.
Because what I mean, we've been blessed as far as our people, because as bad as our situation is, we've been given everything, right? We were given Jesus, so we should have his lessons. It shouldn't even be anything to make the transition.
No, Yeshua?
Yahshua, right? Yahshua, Jesus, Isa, we were given his lessons.
But initially we were given the lessons tainted and changed, right? In a sense?
To a degree, but where I was going was that we were given the lessons, but the holes in the lesson was filled in with what Noble Drew Ali brought. And it was supposed to be an easy transition.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Where I see the issue is Noble Drew Ali. We weren't given that.
Right.
That's the part. That's the part.
That's the missing part.
That's the part that we all needed in a much more comprehensive way.
And with Noble Drew Ali came all these little keys, all these breadcrumbs,
100%.
right? So we can find our way.
Yeah.
Right? And like we were saying with the mind and you know, everything is mental, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the divine part,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So that we can do the national part. Because you can't go out there exercising nationality if it's not secure in your mind what that is.
Well, yeah, but that's why I've stated this before, that everything that the corporate entity has done has been to put a veil over everything, right? So when you look for the nationality, you're looking to become a U.S. citizen.
Right.
A U.S. citizen has nothing to do with the United States Republic,
Right.
which then puts you in a different jurisdiction, right? All of that stuff has always been done to sort of cloud the issue.
Yeah. What I wanted to go to was sometimes the chapter 5. Right. Chapter 5. After the feast, the homeward journey, the missing Isa, the search for him, his parents find him in the temple. He goes with them to Nazareth. Symbolic meaning of the carpenter's tools. The great feast of the Pasch was ended, and the Nazarenes were journeying toward their homes. And they were in Samaria. And Mary said, "Where is my son?" No one had seen the boy. And Joseph sought among their kindred who were on their way to Galilee, but they had not seen him not. Then Joseph, Mary, and son of Zebedee returned and sought through all Jerusalem, but could not find him. And Mary asked the guards, Have you seen Isa, a little boy about 12 years old? The guards replied, Yes, he is in the temple now, disputing with the doctors of the law. And they went in and found him as the guards had said. And Mary said, Why, Isa, do you treat your parents thus? Lo, we have sought 2 days for you. We feared that some great harm had overtaken you. And Isa said, Do you not know that I must be about my father's work? But he went around and pressed the hand of every doctor of the law and said, I trust that we meet again. And then he went forth with his parents on their way to Nazareth. And when they reached their home, he wrought with Joseph as a carpenter. One day as he was bringing forth the tools for work, he said, These tools remind me of the ones we handle in the workshop of the mind, where things are made of thought and where we build up character. We use the square to measure all our lines, to straighten out the crooked places of the way, and make the corners of our conduct square. We use the compass to draw the circles around our passions and desires, to keep them in bounds of righteousness. We use the axe to cut away the naughty, useless, and ungainly parts and make the character symmetrical. We use the hammer to drive home the truth and pound it in until it is a part of every part. We use the plane to smooth the rough, even surface of joint and block and board, and go to build the temple for the truth. The chisel, line, and plummet, and the saw all have their uses in the workshop of the mind. And then this ladder with its trinity of steps, faith, hope, and love, on it we climb up to the dome of purity and life. And on the 12-step ladder we ascend until we reach the pinnacle of that which life is spent to build the temple of perfected man. So it's all about, because remember, Drew Ali made the statement that he's taken away all the secrets. And the secret was that, you see a compass and square, you think that's some Freemason lodge thing, when Freemasons are builders, right? Workers. So even though they're going to say that Noble Drew Ali took the Aquarian gospel, the fact that there's things added to this makes it more than the Aquarian gospel.
Okay, yeah.
Because there's things added to it. This is not just the Aquarian gospel, that's it. This is the Aquarian gospel as well as divine instructions from the prophet.
Yeah.
Right? So for somebody to say that they're Moorish American, Aboriginal, Indigenous, sovereign, whatever, right? This better be something in your complete everyday 360-degree rotation of learning. Because the movement is divine first. And this is not holy book like, what people think holy book. This is the actual lessons, right? That is supposed to correct man, so that he himself could take his place and represent and present.
It's the guidebook.
It's the guidebook, right? It's the breadcrumbs. It's the medicine. It's the Flintstone vitamin stuff you take every morning. That you're taking it because you're not done because you just want to read it or you don't want to read it. This doesn't work like that. Just like all those writings of Buddha, Confucius, go talk to a Buddhist. They don't read nothing but Buddhism.
Well, I see what you're saying.
They're tunnel vision. But they could be tunnel vision because Buddha dealt with principles.
Yeah.
He didn't deal with some religion.
Well, I think what I realized too is that after you've gotten past, not that you ever get past the level of this guidebook, but once you have fulfilled your obligation to the guidebook, in my mind, then everything else, like you say, is imbued with our stuff, so that you can then go and read other stuff,
right?
Because it's going to reference back to you
all the time. No matter what you go pick up.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
just go on the shelf, pick it up,
That's right.
go to the index, it says Moors in
That's
there.
right. That's right.
They have something in there. Relative,
That's right.
right? And remember that remember, nomen substantivum, right? So when we go out there and we look for ourselves, there's going to be 500 names. Which is us. Right? There's going to be all these names out there that we're totally going to disconnect and say, nah, that can't be. Same thing with the Kyrgyzstan stone stuff. That stuff that I found today at work.
Right.
So I just clicked on the first guy, George. And then all this other stuff start coming up.
All right.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, this could be used, you know, take that. Oh, there's a picture right there, take that. Not no, you know, I was up all night
Yeah.
studying for class tomorrow. It's not lunch today. Eating my lunch just on the computer. Printing right there one time, bam, print. No, print that. Right? So it, like when we get to that level, right, of okay, I know who I am, right, then all this information is going to be coming toward you.
Yeah.
But
I
then
mean, you have to-
Juali gave the orders that we're supposed to be putting it back out there because we're supposed to change the literature
Yeah.
in order to get these people.
100%. Like you say, once you have reclaimed your nationality, you're supposed to then go and spread that.
Do something, right? Doesn't have nothing to do with going to your job and making sure they change the stuff or license or whatever. You found out about something that you know that nobody ever heard about, you better let somebody know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a responsibility that you have to let your other unawakened. It's like being in jail and realizing there's a way out.
Right.
And it's all your.
Not telling the way.
And it's all of your people that are in there.
Yeah.
Right? You should be telling them, hey, go down that way, take
Yeah.
a left, take another right.
See
and
the
you're-
big hole in the wall.
That's right.
Right. Yeah. So like when Juali told her, well, here's your constitution, right? So here's your constitution. That's 7 acts,
Yeah.
right? Just like Constitution has 7. So he's setting up stuff for us, right? Like piece by piece, right? We're talking about on Sunday with the Treasury. Set up Treasury. Because he knows that there's not going to be no Department of the Treasury.
Yeah.
Now you're going to have these Federal Reserve foreigners coming up in here. So you have your own stuff,
Yeah.
right? Laid everything down. Oh yeah, more said, every subordinate temple can make their own laws and have their own customs or whatever once they are in line with the Grand Major Temple. So that means that there's unity. Nobody has to be telling, oh yeah, well you guys can't do it. What do you mean? We're a subordinate temple. We can make up our own laws. We're not violating nothing that these guys are saying. Show me something where we're violating. Well, okay, shut the hell up and just give people the charter. Make them go do what they're supposed to do out here. No testing to see if whatever. Once they take the position, and like we say, if people are gonna come into this and think that they're gonna do something negative or do things contrary to what's supposed to be done, Allah and the Prophet are coming after you.
Yeah.
There's not no Moors or nothing like that.
Well, I
You know what I mean?
would also feel that there could be Moors.
Yeah, I mean there could be. There's more. I was talking about more today. It's like, I'm ready.
Right.
I'm ready to go strap on and stuff and go do stuff.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's my position. I'm gonna just chill. Nobody can tell me nothing. I'm gonna just kick your ass because who I say I am is who I am. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
right, for that individual,
Yeah.
right? So when y'all ready to do that stuff, call me. 'Cause I'm ready for that. Cool. But just be,
Yeah.
you know,
Be you.
Be you.
Yeah.
Cause you're a birthright. You know? And I just say, yeah, I don't go around taking, arrogant or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what my position is.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part that I want. I was in that stuff already, fighting for these people. So if I can go fight for these people,
Mm-hmm.
and then find out that, oh my gosh, I'm fighting for a private corporation or whatever, then I'm telling everybody and nobody doesn't want to do it, no, I'm gonna fight for them still. They might get some.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's what I say, that's what it is. Right? So all these people that's coming in and they're supposed to just go to the temple. Yeah, I'm in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
There's no temple here. Oh yeah, you know about the Moors? Oh yeah, what's wherever. Are you Negro, black, color? No, I'm Moorish American. No, the LB. Yeah, how many cells are there? 2. What is meant by the word black? But okay, so bam, here's their charter.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Right.
But because of opportunist people, which were infiltrated so that people can't just get charters.
Yeah.
Because now Grand Chiefs are like, well, I don't know, because of the past 50 guys that took this and did craziness with it.
Yeah, but
I really don't know if I could,
But isn't there a responsibility to that though?
but,
I mean, I understand where you're coming
straight.
from on
There's
that
a
point.
responsibility, but the responsibility is on the members to realize that. Hold on a second, like I'm getting calls from, I'm talking to these Moors all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Grand Major Temple.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to Moors in wherever, Cali, Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
this place, that place, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They say there's no temple there where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
They have to send missionaries to go put temples there.
Yeah.
Not supposed to just, there's no temples there. Oh, yeah. So and you go over here, start doing stuff. When you know the power, because if you have a temple, you know the power of it. You know what? If you say that you're ahead of a temple, right? You know the power that is.
Yeah.
It's not something that's absent from the mind of people when we say Moorish Science Temple. Whether it's in somebody's house, whether it's in a basement, whether we have a $55 million place or whatever like that, you know what it is if you're ahead.
But I also think there's a responsibility to that too, right? A responsibility to the movement, to the charter, to the
For sure.
So I mean, to me,
But it comes back to that same thing that
I agree with you.
if you have this and you think that you can,
Mess around with it or
do
whatever.
what, play around with this,
Yeah.
this stuff's coming for you.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
That's what you're saying.
stuff's coming. It might not be right now, but don't worry, you got something for you.
Yeah.
Because the people who are the actual beneficiaries, right? And Allah guide this,
Yeah.
right? And man and Allah are one. So Allah guides this.
Yeah.
And if Allah guides this, you really think you want to why are you even trying to play around with this? Right? Just like people who come in, right? Try to do, go around the back door. I want to get a nationality card, you know what I mean? And whatever. And, pay their money or whatever. And then nothing comes in the mail. Nothing never came in the mail. I'm calling them, emailing them, not getting no answers or whatever. Then they call me and come to find out, we've been had the card. Card got mailed to us 3 weeks ago. But how come you go through the back door to go get a card when you're supposed to come through the front door right here? The address, the building. Why are you going around there to go get a card? Oh, you thought you can go around there and still get it. and then go do some craziness with it without studying, without coming to class, and without being involved in what this is. So Allah stepped in and made somebody say, hold on a second, why is this guy coming through the back door when usually I get all these requests from the business manager of Canaanland? How come this connection didn't come through the business? We just call the business manager just to make sure, see what's up or whatever. Because we already have a picture and everything, because they sent everything, because they were planning on getting some stuff to go out there and do madness with. Because that's the only way you're going to go through the back door. Why would you just come through the front to go come get what you're supposed to get? Unless you were trying to go to get it, to go do some stuff. To try to make stuff look messed up or whatever. Allah's sitting there. Just watching everything going on. Watching everything going on. Right? So you can't be slick. And the slick people are the people who have doubt. The slick people are the people who think, I don't want to buy them right now. I'll just go through the back door.
And what was his response? Or was there one really? Or?
No, our response was, cut up the stuff. Here's your fiat back. And don't come back around here.
It's a good response.
Because you're obviously up to no good. Because you've been coming through the front door. For everything else, when the card time comes, you're going through the back door. So I don't need to know I don't even know what your motive is. I don't even know what the reason is. Because broadcasted every class, here's the form right here, you fill it out, put your stuff on it, whatever. Right? So yeah, just like Brother Crackpit said, the Prophet's watching. Right? The Prophet's watching. Don't get it twisted. So Islam Moors, we already know, 9:30 it's on. 9:02 right now. So today, Nomen Substantivum. You go check out Nomen Substantivum. RV Day Publications. Of course. Holy Quran, Circle 70 Pyramid. Right? 101 questionnaire. I'm gonna get too caught up and just show this fast. Just, the Leviathan 666. We're gonna, go get that. Not get these ones. You go get that one. So no Leviathan 666. Imam Isa nothing. Go get Noble Drew Ali's stuff. Study, like he told us to do. And remember that it's mental. Remember, go back, go check, go read some stuff Buddha, go read some Confucius, because they're letting us know what's up. Right? So again, Islam to all the Moors worldwide. We close out with the prayer. And get ready for 9:30 Blog Talk Radio. Because it doesn't stop. Islam to all the Moors worldwide. Remember I told you. Peace and love. Yeah. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah the Father of the universe.
Allah the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Peace.
Freedom.
And
justice. Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
And
my salvation. By night. And by day. Through His holy prophet. Noble Drew Ali. Islam. Peace. Hotep Moors. And we'll build soon. Oh yeah, and don't forget too, before we go, don't forget, YouTube, Moorish history lesson, the truth about April Fool's Day. Brother Rami Salam Hill, just put up something. So, his stuff is nice and short and sweet, so no complaining about, it's 2 hours and I don't want to go watch or whatever. Go watch, right? Go watch the rest of the videos too. So you got about 25 minutes before Blog Talk comes. Right? So just go check that out and check out whatever else Khalifa Moore's got going on, because they got some stuff going on. Peace and Hotep Moors, Islam.